Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So you may have seen a post that I made on YouTube. It's been about a month or so ago, and I had a picture of this John Deere 531 engine sitting in the back of my dad's truck. So this video is not going to be about working on the 5020. I just figured I would touch on this subject before we start on what this video is actually going to be about, which is sitting over here behind the camera. But anyways, I came across this. It was kind of funny because I came across this engine at about 11 o'clock one night. I was sitting on Marketplace, scrolling through, and I scrolled through, and I'm like, what did I just see? So I went back up right away. It was a listing for a 531 that had been pulled out of the 5010. So I got all excited and I messaged the guy that had it, and it was only over in Claypool, so it wasn't too far from here. And I asked him what the deal was, and he said the deal was he bought a 5010. He wanted to do a Detroit swap on the 5010, so he pulled the 531 out. He actually took an old Terex scraper and pulled the Detroit out of it and put in the 5010. It was kind of cool to see that in the process of being done. I got to check it out while I was there at his shop getting this. And we are short one thing. I've got to come up with it, and that is the front harmonic balancer. They needed part of it to make their hydraulic coupler, to make the John Deere hydraulic pump work with the Detroit. So they pulled it off. And in the process of pulling it off, they pulled it apart because it was dry rotted. So I'm sure mine is probably not in much better shape than this one was, so I need to come up with that new. Other than that, from what I can visually see, it should be just as simple as splitting the tractor, pulling that 531 out that has a tummy ache, and putting this 531 back in the tractor. Now, I don't think right away I'm going to put the turbo back on it, the M&W turbo kit. I think I'm going to leave that off and maybe just throw it on the shelf and hang on to it, run this for a while, make sure everything's good, make sure this engine is in good shape, which they vouched for it. They said that it ran good. If I do put the turbo back on, I will be putting an aftermarket engine oil cooler on the tractor, because I've talked to several guys and they said that was kind of the problem with an M&W turbo on these, was it would get the engine oil hot, thin it out, and then it would cause main bearing failure and rod bearing failure. Makes sense. So I've looked into quite a few different options as far as engine coolers or engine oil coolers. So we're probably going to go that route. But my goal is I want to get them swapped out, and there's a plow day coming up, and it's in October. It's not our plow day. We're invited to it, but I want to make it to that plow day. So it is the end of August right now, and I still got plenty of time. I'm going to get this swapped out. My buddy Jacob's got a bunch of slitting stands that he had bought from an old John Deere mechanic. So I'm going to go see what he's got as far as stands. If he doesn't have nothing that'll work, I'll just build some. But Project 5020 is going to start very soon. But before I do that, I have a few acres of hay that I need to get planted. So that's where this next project's coming in that we're going to do on this video tonight. But I figured I'd give you a little update of what's going on. I also want to find a set of hubs that'll slide on those axles, because I want to dual it back up. My buddy Jeff was putting two John Deere 720 diesels together, and he needed another set of clamp-on duals. So I donated the ones that were on this tractor to the cause, and when I go back together with it, I'm going to put axle mount duals on it, and that was always my plan with it. I want to go probably 20.8 38s with axle mount duals and pressed steel rims on the outside so I can pull them on and off easy. Because kind of my plan with this tractor is, since we're doing more and more hay, I'd like to pull a hay mower with it. So when I'm not plowing and stuff like that, I pop the duals off of it and mow hay with it. Yeah, it's probably a little too big to mow hay with, but I think it'd be cool to mow with. That covers that a little bit. Pretty excited to get back on this. It's something I've been wanting to do, and George and I finally had some time the other day, so we got it moved here, got it shoved in the shop, and just gotta jump on it and get it done. So I'm excited. I know a lot of viewers are going to be excited, so we'll get on that as soon as possible. Excuse me. But for tonight's project, let's head over here and get started. All right, so this is what we're going to be working on. So I was over at my buddy Aaron over at the Ingram Cattle Company, and he had some ripping that he wanted done, and he asked me if I could bring the 9300 over and our John Deere disc ripper and rip some hay ground for him. Well, while I was over at his place, I looked over at the fence row under the pine trees, and I said, hey, what's the deal with that John Deere drill sitting over there? He's like, you want to use it? I said, yeah, I got some hay I want to plant. And I said, been kind of looking for an 8300 to plant hay with. And he said, well, he said it needs some stuff fixed on it, but if you want to fix it, you can use it. And he said, you can use it all you want. And he said, then bring it back and we'll put it in the shed. And he said, we'll just keep using it back and forth if you want to fix it. So I said, well, what exactly is wrong with it? He said, well, the seed shaft for the small grains grass seeder attachment is a little boogered up, which you can see right here. The shaft is all bent. So I said, well, that don't look too bad to fix. To me, what happened, I think, is something went crazy with the roller chain, and it rolled up and jerked the seed shaft down and bent it all up. And he was having a little bit of issues with it prior to this, and they had replaced this bearing right here, and apparently that wasn't the problem. So today I went and picked the drill up, brought it home, pressure washed it real good because it was sitting under some pine trees, so it had some nasty pine tree stuff on it. But it's a nice old drill, it really is. It's got this Rimlinger Danish tine cultivator across the front here, so you can roll that down. It's got a hydraulic cylinder under the hitch. You can roll that down and do a little bit of fine tillage in front of the disc openers there. So it's a pretty nice setup, and it's going to work real well for hay. So I want to get started on this tonight. I want to get that all tore apart and get this seed shaft out and see if I can either straighten that, which I don't know if I'll be able to get it perfectly straight. I'm going to try it, see what happens. And if not, I'm going to go to John Deere and see if I can get that new shaft. I've looked at Shoops and I've looked at a few other places, and nobody seems to offer that shaft. I could make it. It looks like it's just some bar stock. But the problem is I'll have to get all the holes drilled precisely that hold all the seed meters in place. Because if they're not precise, then the adjustment's not going to be perfect, because it relies on those seed drums to move in and out of the seed cups, and that's what actually does your metering of your seed, for those of you that don't know how a drill actually works. In all reality, a drill is kind of just a controlled spill. That's all it is. And by you moving these back and forth, you're moving that seed wheel in there, or seed drum, back and forth, and you're making that space longer or shorter for the amount of seed to fall in it as it flips out of the cup, if that makes sense. But we'll tear into it and I'll show you closer. So let's get started. I think I'm going to take that whole grass seeder box off on this half of the drill. I think that'd be the best way, because through here where this got pulled down and jerked out, it is kind of bent, so I'm going to have to reshape the bottom of this box a little bit to get everything perfect, because it needs to be pretty well perfect to work properly. So let's get started on it. So it's pretty simple to get these boxes off. I mean, there's only 6 bolts that hold it on. These really long wrenches. I picked them up at our Bailey's Discount Center over here on Highway 10. They had, you got 3 wrenches, so you got 6 sizes, and they're real long and they're straight. I'm like, that'll come in handy for something. I think they're only like $4.99 a set, so I grabbed them. They're Power Torque wrenches with a lifetime guarantee. I don't know where you'd take them to get the guarantee, but hey, I bought 2 sets, so I'm good for a while. Oh, it must have switched when I put it down. All right. Forgot that brace right there. Which that keeps it from falling off, so that worked out pretty well. Let me grab some tools and get that off. Alright, got that bolt loosened up. See what we got going on here. Got a little bit of water in it because I pressure washed it earlier. But as you can see, oh, let me adjust the camera. There we go. This seed cup, that one's broke. I think what we're gonna have to do is go through, we'll take all these seed cups off because I want to get this shaft out of there so that I can fix it if I can. I don't want to cut the shaft and ruin it. I don't know. It's in pretty bad shape. We might just have to get another one. Let me get my little impact and we'll buzz all them off and start there. Spin. Let's see, there's some in the back we gotta get. Put these in my magnetic tray so I don't lose them. So I can flip this up. I have to bring some sawhorses in and set this down. Make it a little bit easier. Not so lucky on them. I'm going to have to hold them from the inside. So I'm going to go find something to set this on so I'm not working on top of the drill. Alright, so I moved over here to my shorter bench to work. Got this one right here to go. Get a ratchet for that one. Maybe. That was a different angle in the box. If I can get it, it's actually, it holds the adjustment on. Two more in there. Well, different size outside. There we go. There we go. You can see how bent that is now. We'll lay that over here. Move that box. Clean up all these bolts and nuts. Get that laying up there. We'll start tearing that apart. So this gives me an opportunity to show you how this works. So this is your seed cup bolted in the bottom of your hopper. Your seed falls down in here, and this whole shaft is allowed to slide inside this cup. So if it's all the way over here, you're only getting that seed drum to flip out that much seed, whatever that little bit can do. When it's way over here, you're getting the max amount of seed that seed drum can flip out of that cup and drop down the tube and go in the row. This, when you loosen this and move this moves this whole shaft in all these individual cups. This all needs freed up. As you can see, it's all rusted up and stiff. So we need to get all these off of this shaft. And to do that, we've got a bunch of snap rings that are inside the plastic. We'll have to get them out, and then that'll allow them to all slide off the end. We'll have to get this off of here. We'll have to take these keepers out on the ends and actually slide the drum off to get this out freed up. So kind of a project, not a big project. It's a little project, but it's a project. That got broke. I have to get a new one of those. So that is a bearing in there. Let's see. Lay that over here. Now we're to our bent spot. Let's see what we can do with that. I think I'm going to call it a night. I am a little bit tired. I'll have to straighten that before I can even come close to getting that one off. So it is about midnight. It's been a long day. So I'm going to head in the house, get a shower, and go to bed. We'll resume tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next evening. It is Labor Day. It is September 1st. And we had some cookouts to go to today with family, so that's what we did. And I decided to jump back on this project this evening. So I started tearing some more of these seed cups off because I've come to realize that a lot of these are seized tight to that shaft. And they do not want to break loose. And it's kind of crazy to me because these are plastic seed cups. And you'd think that they wouldn't really get too stuck on them steel seed drums. So I'm going to go ahead and tear them all apart, slide them all off, because I've begun to notice that not only is the shaft bent here, where we originally seen it bent, but it is bent throughout, and I think it's got a slight twist to it throughout. So I'm going to tear all this apart, free everything up. I think I'm going to go ahead and get all new seed cups for it, and start completely over. So that's what I'm going to do the rest of this evening is tear these apart, just bend these over. Oops. I'll have to go find that socket now. Bend these straight, and then you can tap them out, put a little old Rusties on them. I need to go get me a couple more cans of old Rusties. I'm pretty much out of it. Still good stuff. I still like it. Still available. There for a while I was sponsored by them, and I haven't heard nothing from the company lately, so I don't know what the deal is. But that's okay, I'll still buy it. So I set this socket under here just to help hold that shaft up a little. And getting the first initial one out is a little bit tough. But then once you get one out, getting it broke loose is the tough part. I just hit it. Well, actually, I think this one's going to break off. They're pretty brittle. They're kind of soft. Let's go ahead and break this one off, and I'm going to get all new ones anyways. Now let's see if we can hit that a little harder. There it goes. Tap that out. And now we can tap that over, and we can really get on that one and get it out. Get that drum out of the way, we can actually get a good hit on it with a hammer. Get some lubrication worked in there, and then they'll start to slide easier on the shaft. So I don't know if I'll get a chance to get to John Deere tomorrow to get parts or not. We're working up at the Perennials Galore again in Fish Lake on a site prep. We rented a good sized dozer for that project. So we got to go up there tomorrow and work there. Work on that project. And that'll be one to watch. Yeah. Need a hair bigger punch. Thought I had one. I do in my truck, but it's not here. It's at the shop. Uh-oh. That one don't want to slide. I don't know what to do over that. Guess I wasn't hitting it hard enough. I tuned into Dirt Perfect's live video tonight. Was listening to that earlier, so that's why I've actually been working on this for a little bit tonight, but I was listening to his live. Must not like me anymore. I commented and he didn't comment back. Ah, he's a busy guy. Might have got, maybe he's upset about the joke I made about him wearing Hyundai underwear. I don't know. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna finish taking this last 4 of these off, and then I can slide them all off the end. Well, just so simple. Just slide them off now. Just like that, there's our junk shaft. Oh boy. Oh. Not only is it bent here, it's bent here, and it's bent here, and it's got a slight twist to it. So, I am going to go to John Deere tomorrow and see if this shaft is available. And to me, it looks like this shaft has been broken and welded. In fact, it has been welded. You can see the weld there, and put back together. So we'll get everything freed up, because here's a issue here. This is all froze up. Get these all tore apart and limbered up. Get some new seed cups. Get this one the rest of the way out. How can I do that? Now this will work. Tap it out. Oop, wrong end of the hammer there. No, that's not going. Oh, it's because that snap ring's holding it. All right. Well, get that out of there. Actually, this piece, there's one of them. These are supposed to turn free in there. See, that's made to fit in there. And that one is locked up in there. And with that being locked up in there, it held that seed drum like a wrench. And when this planter went to turn, it just made pretzels out of everything. So, all right, that's as far as we're going tonight. Get some parts rounded up, see what's available, see what's not available. Excuse me. If we can't get this shaft, we will have to get just a piece of bar stock, and we'll have to drill some holes. But we got to get them precise, because they've got to be, well, They don't have to be dead on, but have to be very, very close. So, and they got to be centered and whatnot and done right. So, see what we can get available at Deere, and we'll go from there. Well, fast forward a few days, and here we are back in the shop working on the 8300 grain drill. So, if you remember, I said I was going to go John Deere and order that new seed shaft. Well, there are a lot of options for the seed shaft. So we ordered what we thought was right by the measurement, and it turns out it came wrong. So it took about 4 days to get it, and I'd like to be planting hay by tomorrow afternoon, possibly. So I don't have any more time to wait. So I'm going to straighten this shaft out. I have some bar stock here at the shop. I'm going to give it a shot at drilling my own shaft and recreating this the best I can. But first, we need to get it straightened out. We need to get it straightened out the best we can so that we can lay it on top of our new piece of shaft and get an accurate idea of where our holes need to be. So not so much centered, but just where they need to be in the bar stock. I mean, they could be off to one side or the other just a hair, because the idea of those pins is just to hold them seed drums from sliding back and forth. But we need to get them accurately where they need to be this way so that we get an accurate drop on our seed, which, like I said before, a drill really is just a controlled spill, and it just kind of evenly distributes the seeds over the field. I mean, anything can change your seed rate by seeds per pound, different varieties of seed, all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of an educated guess when it comes to setting a drill, really. That's what it amounts to. And even change of ground speed can dictate your rate of drop on your seed. So there's so many things, so many variables. So a drill is really, truly a controlled spill. All right, I think we got that straight enough that we can use that. Well, hopefully this worked. What I done was I took the old shaft and I sat it on top of the piece of bar stock that I want to make a new shaft out of. I vice gripped that end, and I kept clamping this as I went along. And I took a drill bit and I went down through the existing holes in the old shaft, and I marked where I need a hole all along that new piece of bar stock. So it gave me what looks to be equally spaced holes. They look to be right, except that one is a little off to the side because of the bow and the shaft right there, but I can correct that when I drill it. I think that's going to work. I think it's going to work just fine. Like I said, it's more crucial to have them this way on the shaft than it is this way on the shaft. So that should work. So When I get my mill set up, I gotta find the right size drill bit to put in the mill, and we'll see how this goes. Hopefully that bar stock isn't hard and it'll drill nice. We'll see what happens. So this is going really well. I've got this in the mill here, and it's drilling real nice. I've actually got the end of the bar stock on one of the handles on the lathe, and I'm using it as a roller table to help me move it along. Get it where I want it, get it lined up, use the mill table to move it back and forth to fine tune it. Should be good right there. Put a little oil on the bit. Just as simple as that. I do have a couple lathe tools under there to shim it up a little bit. I need to find my other shimming material. I would like it a little higher, but I don't know. They're in my storage trailer somewhere. I'll have to get those out. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more holes to go. I believe there was a total of 23 or 24. So a little shop trick. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I hung shower curtains, clear shower curtains I got off of Amazon along the wall to keep the oil from the machining tools off of the white metal. And so far, it's working really good. I just went to Harbor Freight and I got some of them, well, you might be able to see them. Oh, you can't see them. But up there, some of these clips with the magnets. That's what I got to hold them up. And I got 1, 2, 3 shower curtains. And so far, it's worked really nice. And plus the shower curtains, they have magnets made into them at the bottom so they stay up against the wall. And then when I plug stuff in, I just poke the plug in right through the plastic. That way I didn't have to cut around them or anything like that. But so far, it's worked really good. And no more than they cost when they get all dirty. I'll just order some new ones. Can't remember what it cost me, like, I think $10 for like 4 of the clear ones. Because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how can I keep my wall clean? Especially when you're doing larger projects with the mill, you've got curly cues of steel slinging around and you got oil going everywhere. And in the old shop, I never had pretty walls, so I just never really worried about it. But here, I got pretty white metal and I'd like to keep it that away for at least a little bit. Maybe until I retire. Looks good. Whoop, forgot to put a little oil on there. So that's the hole that's a little off. So I'm gonna fudge it over that away when I get to there. So kind of the nice thing about using this vise is it kind of, as long as you stay going straight, it should make all the holes line up. So, all right, unless the divot from drilling them is too far off to one side and the drill bit wants to walk and follow it, but I've been doing pretty good at getting it straight where I want it. So, all right, I'm gonna finish these up and then I think we'll try to put some stuff back together. So I started assembling some of these seed cups and I got to the actual drive that was broken. That was broke. So got a new one here. So we need to put this on like so. And then we have a machine washer to put here. We got to put our snap ring back on. Just like so. Now this needs to go just like this. Just like that. Now that'll bolt to the bottom of our seed box. We've got all of our seed cups so far right. We've got our adjustment in there right. So far things are going together smoothly. Now these little guys are bare. Them are real tough to bend over. So I came up with an idea. I need to lube these up a little bit before they go back together. So I took this big syringe that I have, and I don't remember what I had these for. I think I was using these to squirt wormer on the cow's back. So what I did was I put anti-seize in it. You just gently squeeze it a little bit. And you can really put your anti-seize in there without making a huge mess. Just pull it back just a little bit when you're done with it. It gives you a nice little amount. Perfect, look at that. Real nice. So I'm actually reusing some of these seed cups because they're really not in bad shape. There's nothing wrong with them. They were just froze up, needed lubed up, but that's not the one I want to use. Here, this one. That one's pretty stuck. So there's nothing wrong with them. Just clean them up a little bit here. Make sure there's no cracks in them. Looks good. We'll reuse this one because they're like $22 a piece. So I figured if I could save a little. There we go. Need this. Then we have to put a washer at the end with a square hole. Make sure the camera can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and come down here to this end. There's a little bit of a burr at the end. Slide that on down there like that. Looks good. Just a couple of our keeper pins here, that's all they are. Stick them in the holes like so. Take some good pliers and a 7/16 wrench. Oop, didn't quite get it. Grab it, bend it over, roll the seed shaft a little bit. I'm telling you, they can be a little bit of a bear. Bend it over some more. And there you have it. That's all you gotta do. Well, when I bent that one, it kind of bent it the wrong direction there. The washer must be a little bent too. There we go. About time for bed. I'm getting kind of tired. But I want to get this kind of wrapped up. There we go. All right. That's back the way it should be. The only thing is that square's a little loose on the shaft, but I think it'll be all right. It doesn't take much to turn this shaft when everything's free and proper, so I'm not too worried about that right now. So I think I'm gonna head in the house, go to bed for tonight, and we'll come out here tomorrow and get the rest of this wrapped up and get that box mounted back on. Well, I never made it to the house to go to sleep. I decided to stick with it, and I finished this up. I got all the seed meters put back together, and I got the box flipped around, and look at that. Oh, would you look at that. That's just beautiful. I love it. Looks so nice, sits on there so nice. Oh, I gotta put the adjuster on. Fell off on the floor when I was moving it around. No big deal. It just sits in here. Somehow it fell off. I don't know. It was like this. Somehow. Oh yeah. This flips up. How did I do that? Somehow. Well, oh, there we go. Puzzle. Regular old puzzle. Now this needs to sit in this ball socket here. Just like that. There we go. That bolts on right there. That one bolts there. All right. That looks good. Now I'm going to go in for the night. It is almost midnight and I am tired, but I am glad that I am that far. I'll bolt this all back together tomorrow night. Get that thrown on. I've got some hoses that I got made for the leveler bar across the front of this drill. Get those back on. And I might attempt to overseed the backyard a little bit with it. I'm not quite happy with the grass I planted the way it, well, I don't think a whole lot of it survived the hot summer. So supposedly this summer we had on record, supposedly I heard, the most consecutive days of 90-degree weather, and I think that kind of baked my grass a little bit. What's growing out there now is like turkey foot or something. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this drill, I'm going to put some more of that Kentucky 31 fescue in it, and just drag it around out there with the 2940 and see what happens. Who knows, maybe it'll cut some grass in and it'll grow over the fall, and we'll get some snow this winter. It can grow under the snow. We'll see what happens. So, all right, I'm heading for the house tonight. Well, decided I better get this box put back together. I played hooky last night and didn't work on it because I went and mowed hay. So, third cutting of hay is done. All I gotta do is get it baled. And then hay is done for the season. That'll be it. Oops. Where'd the mold go? Actually got some good news today that had an offer on the old house and got rid of it. So I'm happy about that. Don't have to deal with the old place anymore. Don't have to mow the yard or anything. It is the new owner's job now. So that's less off my plate. Pretty excited. Get to close that chapter and move on. The old place served me well, but the new house and the shop situation is just awesome. I have no complaints. I am missing a nut. Is there a nut on the floor? Well, I had to replace some bolts anyway, so I got them right here. We'll go ahead and put them in. Ooh, that might be a little long. Let me go see if I got something shorter. Wanted to get this box put back on tonight and try it out. All right, got some shorter bolts. Let's see how these work. Oh, that'll work nice. So anyways, get this put back together and get some hay planted. Didn't get hay planted like I wanted to as soon as I wanted to, but hey, that's all right. Figure get the last cutting done and out of the way while the weather's still nice. Kind of hoping for a little bit of rain before I plant hay, but I doubt that's going to happen. Things are a hair dry right now. Might be nice to have a little moisture. But the hay worked out pretty good for me this year. Gonna keep increasing hay acres. Was able to sell it. What I didn't need for the cows anyways. Been letting the small squares go and keeping the round bales. I've had a lot of satisfied horse customers that bought my alfalfa. Have been very happy with it. So that's a good thing. Where are we here? So I found the best way to do this is I put the bolts in each end cup and then just stood the box like this, straight up and down on the floor. Whoops, where'd that go? I just can't hold on to things tonight. But anyways, stood it straight up and down on the floor and put all the rest of the bolts in. Works real good. All right, I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna tighten all these up, and then we can hang the box back on the planter. Well, I got the box all remounted, all the seed tubes back on. Got some Kentucky Fescue 31 in there. Let's take it out in the yard and try it and see what happens. Well, let's give this a try. Because the tensioner's kind of a little bit janky, I gotta fix that. But hey, other than that, everything turns, everything's working the way it should. I'm happy with it. Well, Madison told me I need to come in the house because dinner's done. But we're gonna have to address this issue here, the chain running off. It might have just been a little loose, but other than that, everything's working good. I just gotta get the hoses put on for the leveler bar and we're ready to go. So hopefully the next video you see will be planting some hay. So thank you for watching, greatly appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good evening or have a good morning depending on where you're at around the world.